Hey, hey, and welcome back to another episode of Pink Tax Chat. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. We're about
Good.
to talk about everything from A to Z.
Yes.
Relationship, dating,
Bag,
finances.
bag.
And
Yes.
we always just touch a little bit on being 30. It's that's
Yes.
sprinkled out the conversations.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah, for
today's
sure.
topic, I'm talking about the quarter life crisis, which
Yes.
age gap is early 20s to
To mid
mid
30s.
30s, which
Yes.
is us. That's where we're at.
It's
That's
a
what,
real thing. So I actually took like the liberty of doing a quick little on Google, just a lookup, and it defines the quarter life crisis as really involving anxiety over
mm,
the quality of your life. And it's commonly experienced within that age, early 20s to mid 30s. And it's defined by having a period of insecurity, doubt, and disappointment that's relating to your career, your relationships, and your financial situation. So I don't know, based on that definition, if you guys are like feeling us, you understand, or maybe you've experienced or are currently experiencing what we call a quarter life crisis. But it is a very real thing. So we're gonna dive in a little bit about that. So go ahead, talk to the people.
so like honestly think that's where we're at right now. Uh,
Mm,
I've mentioned like I've moved back home, my career, I'm not feeling it. I'm trying to navigate. How do I tailor my field,
mm,
my career to really where I'm at in life right now? I
yeah.
gotta make it work for me. I gotta make sure I get up and I'm happy every day for me. And now I've noticed that people are starting to stand their ground and be like, I don't like, we're not doing that.
Especially our generation. I think that is a great thing, by the way. Just
Yes. I'm really proud of how I'm starting to acknowledge the we're more firm on our nose, our very, very, very hard nose. I
yeah,
absolutely not am doing that. No. And then we're acknowledging people taking advantage of our work and like, I'm worth more.
yeah,
And that I'm worth more kind of parallels into many things, not just work. It parallels into dating, it parallels in finance, it parallels into what do you,
career,
yes,
all of
what do
that.
you envision for yourself long term? What do you envision for yourself short term? What goals do you want to meet? And don't let those barriers defeat the goals that you're trying to meet. And if people or things are intentionally standing in your way, I'm noticing that now, I don't want to say like our 30s are, no, I'm noticing that now more and more of us are like, no, 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 absolutely not, no, I'm
Hmm.
not doing that. And I love that for us because we're shaking and we're making noise in the right way. And I love that. And I want us to keep that um that momentum because
Hmm.
very
Yeah.
important. You don't want to like, stand up and look at life and like I did nothing I really wanted to do for me.
Yeah.
Uh-uh. Mm-mm. So that
Yeah.
quarter life crisis, it can feel defeating a bit, but let's reframe. Let's, look at it from a different angle and say, what can I do better? How can I change this? Because it's one thing to like kind of ride on your own case. I believe in and I know that sometimes we can be our own best friend and we can be our own worst enemy. Um, I've dated someone that said that, and I look back and that rings true Because honestly, we really need to be kind to ourselves. We can only be so hard on ourselves. Um, are we where we want to be, where we want to be in our 30s? No, and that's okay because the odds right now are against us, but we can defeat them. I believe that we can defeat them. We have to make it work in our favor. We have to. We absolutely have to. And how do we navigate that? Give yourself like it's okay, I'm not there, but I'm gonna be there. I know that.
Mhm. In the spirit of just being authentic, I
Mm,
will definitely share with you guys that I have definitely felt some feelings of this quarter life crisis of just reevaluating my life and the trajectory of where I'm going and trying to figure out if I'm on the right track or if I
right.
need to veer off into another direction. And I will tell you, I think the biggest hit for me, first of all, it's recent. So I would say my experience, and I think this is probably true for many people, when you hit those 30s, you have an awakening. It's like suddenly a light just kind of like goes off for you and you realize and you see life differently. I don't know if that's just wisdom kind of waking up inside of you or what, but I feel like those 30s, you definitely have a moment of like, okay, I was doing this, and now where's that getting me? Do I want to continue doing that? Do I like how things are going? You start to think more deeply and intentionally. At least for me, I feel like that's true. So, with that said, my biggest hit I started to feel with my career.
Mm,
That's where I really was like, okay, pause. I've been doing this for a while. I'm doing it successfully. I've moved up. I'm making money. I'm doing all the things, all the right things, but I'm not feeling fulfilled. I'm not feeling satisfied. And that's where I started to feel a little bit of like, why? Why am I feeling this way? I thought once I got here, I would be happy, but I wasn't, you know? And so, like, my goal was always to make six figures, and I did. My salary looked great, but I just was not happy. And I know that, some people may be looking like, girl, what is wrong with you? I promise you, money does not make you happy. It doesn't. You hear people say it all the time, and I'm telling you, tried and true. I've done it, I've experienced it. Money makes you more comfortable. It gives you more options. It gives you flexibility, but it doesn't make you happy. And happy is subjective. Everyone's happy or joy looks different. We all want different things. And I would say that's where it really hit me with my career. I started feeling that way a few years ago. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? Do I need to make a change or like a shift with my career? Does it mean I just need to like take a break? Like what is this I'm feeling? What is this? What do I do with that? And the pandemic hit. So that was another piece that I need to think about. Like, okay, am I feeling this way? Am I feeling this way because of what's happening in like society right now? Or is it really like career? And I think it was a mixture of both. But the reality is
mhm.
I was never in love with my career. And my career is HR. I was never really in love with it. And I knew that from
Well,
the
that what made you
beginning.
good at it though.
Oh, thank you, baby. I appreciate that. I appreciate
But
that.
but
But
yeah, you
passion,
have to be happy about it too. You
passion.
have to.
Yeah, right. And it's not to say there. I don't like it at all. There are things I really love about HR. The HR components I love are like the people. I enjoy interacting with people, helping people, supporting people. I like that aspect, but like the policy procedure aspect, not so much. So I really had to like think, okay, what does that mean for me? So like that career part, that part was real for me. Relationship also. I don't know
Mm.
if you want to expand on like what your like quarter life crisis, like what categories hit you, but I'm willing to do that. So career was real. I saw it, I experienced it. Relationship too was more of like, okay, timeline. I'm becoming older and I'm not where I thought I would be when it comes to my relationships. I thought for sure I'd be settling down now, and I'm not there yet. And I was just starting to feel like, okay, what does that mean for me? And like thoughts started crossing my mind, like, okay, do I need to freeze edge? Like, do I need to think about adopting? Like, what are my options? Like, I was starting to think like that. Like, these are real possibilities for me now because I'm becoming older. And
Right.
then I'm looking at my notes. Finances, I was in a good place financially. I mentioned before. Um, so I
But
wasn't
when I,
feeling,
it's a
yeah,
hard feeling
yeah,
to tackle. It really is. It's a hard feeling to feel, and I'm glad you like brought that up.
yeah.
Um, and like from 30 to 33, now you all know I'm Latina, and on that Latina mindset, it go go go. It's hustle hustle hustle, and so I've moved up in my career. I've learned different skill sets. I've done that. And I'm like, okay. I was like, when I got to 33 and late to the game, it wasn't when I like hit 30. I was like, wait a minute. I need to
Something's
re,
off.
yeah, I need
Yeah,
to reevaluate. I need to look deeper. I need to ask myself hard question. I need to
yeah,
do that because I wasn't happy. I wasn't content. I wasn't where I want to be.
yeah,
And, I wanted to. When I was younger in my 20s, and I've touched a little bit on episodes, I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to meet my person. I wanted to share everything with that person. I wanted to team up. I want that. And I got to the point where I'm so driven in my career, driven in school, driven in like just narrowing those, and I was like, I like completely forgot me as a
mm,
person. And
yeah,
that's a very scary thing. So I will
yeah,
say that right now, what I'm doing right now, I was like, okay, I need to do for me. So now I'm doing the podcast.
yeah,
And I also have something else behind the scenes that I'm excited I will share. I'm working on it too. And I'm like, but the key thing is I'm doing it all for me. I'm not doing it for school. I'm not doing it because society said I need to do this at this point of my life. I'm doing it because, hey, I want to do it for me. And I
yeah,
need to realize that I'm important too. And I think I really forgot that. And that's so sad because I don't want to look back and I forget who I am. And
yeah.
that's scary. So I'm like, okay, 33, girl, you still young.
Mm-hmm.
You're not old.
Mm-hmm.
You're still young. And
Right.
Latinas, we
Yeah.
like to joke and be like, we have that like fountain of youth. But honestly, I and think for me and Tasia at our 30s, think we've talked about this personally. We really need to be selfish for ourselves. And I think that's so important.
Oh yeah.
And to travel more, to enjoy life more, and to travel with friends and family that you can travel with.
Mhm.
Not
Emphasis on that girl.
people you can travel with. Do that.
Yeah.
Enjoy it and make plans intentionally with those people. And I'm trying to do better and intentionally making those plans because, babe, YOLO, it's real. We
Mhm.
have one life to live, and I want to live it like
The fullest. The
rich experience.
fullest.
Yes,
Yeah. to the
And
fullest.
I think when I see quarter life crisis and I see people are not fully living their lives, and that's scary. And we need to be like, hold up, wait, how can I reach that? How can I meet that? How can I make that happen? So I think that's what I'm navigating right now in my quarter life crisis. I'm being selfish for myself. I'm saying I want this, and absolutely I'm gonna get it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would say around that time, after like assessing, identifying, it was time for me to act. And so I made some life-altering decisions and I took
Yeah,
big risks. But it was with the understanding and the conviction that I was going to do what made me happy. So like
right.
for example, like I said, I had a great paying job and I decided, you know what? It's time for something different. And I'm sure it crossed my mind, and I'm sure other people looked at me like, girl, what's wrong with you? Why would you, make that decision? But I have to live with this life. I
You
have
do.
to wake up every day and run it and experience it. And I just realized that was not what best aligned with my soul. And I've always wanted to do podcasts. I've always wanted to experiment and try other things that are not traditionally, I guess, like careers or things that I didn't go to school for. I've always had them kind of like in the back of my mind. I wanted to do them, but realistically, it didn't feel like life was allowing me, or I didn't have the time or the energy, or, just the opportunity didn't seem to present itself. And I said, you know what? I have to make my own opportunity. I have to bet on myself. I have to step out on faith. I have to just do it. Um,
Absolutely be
have to
willing to
do
get
it.
out. You have
And I'm glad. And now it's ironic and it's funny because now I have this really different sense of peace and excitement and thrill for life. I'm excited about the work that we are doing. I'm excited about the things I'm doing outside of this. So, like Tori mentioned, she has some things. I, set up my own business. It's a consulting, like coaching business. It's still in the works. I'm still like getting things together, but I'm excited about that. And I started that process in August, around that time of last year. So I'm working my way through it, but I took an idea, a concept, a dream, and I decided, you know what, it's time to put the action behind it. So, in kind of reframing, like you mentioned before, you have to reframe, like, okay, yes, these feelings, these experiences are real, but what am I gonna do about that? My decision was, okay, I'm not happy with this. What what am I going to do? How am I going to change that? And then I did it. And I would say part of reframing or, kind of changing your life is after you assess, really taking like a leap of faith in whatever area you want, because like you said, it's one life, it's one. And I don't want to look back and regret anything. I don't want to look back and say, man, I wish I tried that. I wish I did that. I wish I wasn't afraid. There's a part of me that's not afraid anymore. And I don't know if that's come with age too. Like now that I'm 30,
that.
I'm just like, what do I have to be afraid of? Like, I know that I'm dope. I know that what we are doing is amazing. And if we're only like impacting one person or a few people, then the purpose
It's
it's
still
already been met. Like and that's what makes me happy. I'm realizing now happiness for me is not money and it's not titles and it's not status and it's not authority. All of the things that society kind of teaches or
kind of
tells
wired
you.
into
Right. That's not for me. And maybe it's for someone else, and that's fine. Someone else, maybe that is happiness for them. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it's not. And so I need to find the things that make me happy. I need to pursue those things. I need to do those things. So I think that's part of like changing or
Mhm.
coming out of that crisis is really sitting down with yourself and saying, okay, like seriously, what do you want?
Mhm.
What can you realistically change today?
Right,
What can you do? What can you afford to do?
right.
You know what
Well,
I'm saying? Because that's real too.
touched on like the big key thing. You
Yeah.
time wasn't allowing you to do explore the things you wanted to explore. That
Mm-hmm.
is so true. So
Yes.
2022, I think I started my sex education like journey. And
Yeah.
and I love that. And that, like Tasia said, passion is important to you.
Yes.
And when I started a new career, I dropped my passion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for a while, I've been kind of like walking on the fence with that, and it didn't feel good. And like now, and I'm so grateful for the experiences that I've had, for the careers that I've had, for the
Yes.
things that I've learned, and for the people that I've met. But I dropped my passion, and I dropped what mattered to me. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have to do it for me. So now my behind the scenes work will be getting back to my sex education content because that's important to me. Even if I impact, like Teacher said, one person, that one person can make a difference.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to that. And I want to do what's important to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, having a good career, having um good money and stability. And like I said, we're Latina, we're wired to think, okay, that's so important. And yes, it is important, but your
Yeah.
happiness is important too. And you can't
Mental
neglect,
health.
yes, you
Mental health.
can't neglect yourself.
Yeah.
That's like the worst thing you can do. And I have done that. I've put myself last again, whether it's with my career, whether it's with friendship, whether it's with dating, I'm last, I'm last. Now I'm like,
Mm.
no.
Yeah.
I gotta put myself here and make sure I'm the priority in every avenue that I'm exploring. I have to come first
Yeah.
because
So I
nothing,
love that.
nothing,
Yeah.
nothing's gonna work if I
Yeah.
don't come first.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
not. It's
That's
not.
right. Yep. That is so true. And I think for me, I had to think about like real, I'm a practical person. So sometimes it helps me to have like tools or tips
Mhm.
or ideas for how to approach something. So I wanted to open the floor for that for us to share based on our personal experience, maybe some cool or helpful tips or tools that may help someone navigate and work through this experience real time if they are experiencing, or put it in the back of mind if one day they do start to experience to feel or experience what we're talking about, a quarter life crisis. So for me, like I said, there was an assessment, identification, and then like a initiation action, do it. But it's a very simplified way of explaining it. It was not something overnight. No,
Wow.
it took some time for me to chew on it and come to the realization and then like work up the nerve to do it. There was still some anxiety, uncertainty, questions about what do I do? What's next? How do I handle that? What if? Those doubts are real and you will experience them. I definitely did. So I would say like as a tip or like some tools that help me and are still helping me is first, I would say, I mean, I'm a Christian, I've shared that. So prayer is real for me. It is a real thing, it's a real tool that can help and it can change your life, it can change your mindset. And mindset is so important sometimes. Um, just talk with God or talk with someone that you trust. But I encourage you to try God. Try Jesus, baby. But prayer, it was real where I really started to sit down and actually really like express my real feelings. So I don't know what your experience is with like prayer or spirituality, but I've always been a believer, but I didn't always practice it or live it or, make it real for myself. And I'm starting to work on that. So reading, my Bible for myself, learning for myself and trying to build a personal relationship for myself and not through family members or other people or friends, but really get to know God for myself. And the first step, really honestly, was just praying. It is just a conversation between you and Him. It's just you being real. It's telling him how you feel. What are your thoughts? What are you struggling with? Like, just like, this is it, you know? And over time, it grows, it evolves, it changes, and you may start to hear back from him. But I would say start there. That's one thing I did for me personally. I started praying and reading, the word. And then therapy too. Therapy is a real tool that helps with mental health. So when I was experiencing depression and anxiety and like all of those things, I needed something other than prayer. You can do both. I promise you. The therapy was really helpful, and I've always said I wanted to, and I never did. And I finally got to that point in my life where I said, I gotta do something. And I did it. And I'm so proud. I'm so happy that I did because it's been a really great tool. Like just someone neutral to just like bounce off my thoughts and to challenge my ideas and say, hey, have you thought about it like this? That is sometimes a missing piece. Sometimes we talk with our friends or our family, and those voices are very familiar, and sometimes they think the same as us. And we need something that's opposite or different to challenge our thinking and just to help us reframe things in a different way. So like prayer, therapy, and I also try like journaling. And I'm still not
I'm
too
the
deep.
journaling too.
Yeah, yeah.
Love
Try some
writing
different
poems.
stuff.
That's
Yeah.
I love
Your
that.
outlet, you
It's
know?
I do admit I want therapy, but for me
Yeah.
it's a little bit harder because insurance coverage, and I do
Yeah.
want a deaf therapist.
That's tough too. That's
Yeah, I
really
want
tough
someone that.
too.
So
Yes.
I did go to
Culturally
therapy.
competent.
I
Yeah.
did go to therapy, and it was a hearing person, and I was
A little
like,
bit
there's
disconnect.
yeah, and then I had to get it approved by my insurance. I was like, look, like this is great, but I really want a deaf therapist, and I had to be authorized. And my insurance was like, well, why? And I'm like, because I'm deaf.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then I have to admit, I'm gonna be honest, it was like, and then by the time I got to that point of explaining and proving why, it's like,
I'm so sorry for that experience. It's a real one, and I'm sure there are people in the
many
audience that are
people
experiencing
experience that.
feeling that you
And
want
it's
it, but you have roadblocks. How do I get there? Why are things like preventing me from getting there?
right,
Yeah.
right. So it's frustrating. So I'm
It can
still
be very.
trying to navigate the therapy, but I want to be a therapy girly
Please
because
do. Please
I
do.
want
And
that.
please don't think my process has been easy. It's not. Not exactly the same, but I have tried. I'm now on my third therapist. So that's another thing. You don't have to stay
Let's
with
shop.
someone.
Let's
Shop
shop.
around, test, try, find what works for you. You own it. It's
And it's
yours.
okay. It's okay to tell your therapist, I'm sorry. I don't think we're a fit.
It's not a good
That's fine.
fit. I appreciate your time. There's nothing wrong with that. But yes, I've had some. I mean, my first experience was not the best, and I almost gave up. It was a really traumatizing experience, honestly. But I said, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep going with this because I do see the potential. It's just I have to
The
find.
benefits you need.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I have to find the right therapist and professional that's a good fit for me. So if you're experiencing roadblocks like what Tori said and shared, or anything like mine, maybe you tried it and it didn't work well. I would encourage you to keep trying. Don't give up right away. At least
I
keep
know
pushing.
for us, deaf people, it's so hard. And yes, I admit I gave up, but I'm like, no, I need to
Hmm.
get back to it.
Yeah.
And I need to find, and I need to research. That's another
Hmm.
thing. You really have to research.
That's a good tip. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
some, maybe we'll let you do a payment plan if have
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so.
I started with BetterHelp. I mean, they are not sponsoring this. I wish they were. But I started with BetterHelp because I tried other avenues and it wasn't working. So I was like, let me pay myself and because I need this.
Mm,
And it led to, the therapist I have today. So there are different avenues, there are different ways. And you do have to be a little bit stubborn, unfortunately, and you do have to find what works for you. So I like virtual. Some people prefer in person, and you
to
have
look
that
for that. Like I
flexibility
said, you have
to
to
look.
research. You
Yeah,
have to research.
you
And
do.
yeah, it can feel, and I know from personal experience, it feels like
It can.
get it.
It
And like now
can.
I'm navigating that again and understand this is like maybe a third time spinning the block,
And that
looking for a
sucks.
therapist. And yeah, it's
But
not.
remember, it's for you.
It's,
Remember that you're doing something for you and let that be the motivator. Like you're not giving up on therapy. You're not giving up on yourself.
mm,
You're trying to better yourself. You are trying to position yourself for success or for healing or whatever it is your goals are, because therapy can have different goals. Everyone has a unique, journey and path.
mm,
So think of it like that. I know it can be frustrating and disappointing
boiling.
and annoying and long and tedious, but remember, whatever it is you're doing, it doesn't have to be therapy. I encourage it, but it doesn't have to be therapy. Therapy is not for everyone. Some
I
people would
know
like to color.
I know people that like
I've
sign
done
up for
that.
art class, hot yoga.
Dance. I do
There
dancing. That's a
there
great
are
way to
different
like
ways to have
release
outlets.
stress. Yes, there's
Different,
different ways to do it. Um,
mm.
and
I,
and and also as like kind of a last, tip or like tool that I would like to share for me, is the third one is look for resources that are available to you. So that could be locally, that's state or federal. There's different situations. Everyone has your unique situation, but like, if you are deaf or disabled, there's VR, they have support. perfect? No, but available, and it could be
The
an
resource
option.
we can
It could
use.
be an option. And VR is not the only. I'm sure there's so many, and I wish I had a list ready to prepare and share with you guys. But information sharing is key. So after watching this, if you know of any helpful resources, please
Please
do
ask.
drop them in the comments, share them. This is the place for that. We want to share information and help each other, uplift one another. This quarter life crisis thing is real, but we are not staying here. We're getting out of this. And it
Mhm.
does pass. It is not forever.
No.
The weeping and the sorrow, it can last for a little while, but know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Joy does come in the morning. Don't get stuck in that. I know it's real and it hurts and it can be very
Like,
dark. It
like I
can.
said on an Instagram live, please don't like let this be like defeating to you. This
No.
hard part is just the pit stop. It's
Yeah.
just the stop. This is not forever. It's like, NASCAR when they have that and they change the
Yeah.
wheels. That's
Yeah.
what we're changing.
Fix it
The
up,
wheels
baby. You
just
know?
we
Yeah.
got this, we got
You
this, and
got
I
it.
know we got this.
That's
We
right.
do.
That's
Just
right. And I'm
what
here for you guys. I will offer myself as a resource.
yeah,
If anyone needs to vent or talk or just wants to like mention or
listen.
share something, I'm happy to listen, talk with you, share ideas, whatever. I make myself available for that. I think that's so important with building community and really backing up the words with action is real. You are not alone. You are not. I've been there. I am there with you. I'm here for you. I got your back, baby. I got you. You know what? Reach out anytime. I'm here for
Our
you.
DMs are open, and if you ask
Yes,
me for a resource and I have that resource, I'm gonna share it. We're
that's
not gonna
right.
gatekeep here. So
No,
if you ask us a question in a DM, and if I have that, we have that, we'll answer
we
because
will.
this community is already like small,
Yes.
and we need to share what we know
Yeah.
because
And
we're
life
not
is
powerful.
hard. Life is hard, you
But
know?
this is a great place to like just
Wrap up.
stop.
Yeah.
But if you like the quarter life series that we're starting now, let us know. Add comment. And until next time,
Bye.
bye.